wrote this business off, all right, because I was very, very busy. You know, prior to doing this, I worked for an insurance company and I traveled literally every other week. So literally every other week, I'm away from my family. Every other week, you know, I'm away from my wife, my 8-year-old twins, my 5-year-old. So I hated being away just to make money, all right? And that bothered me. So I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to add something else to my plate with how busy I felt I already was. And I'm the treasurer for my church as well. So I'm thinking all of these different things. There's no way I can do this. But, you know, I stayed at the event, you know, and I started understanding how everything worked. And the very next day, it was on a Friday. The very next day, it was a Saturday training, just like where you're at right now. And Mr. Payton said, okay, I want you to come to this event. It's going to give you more information. It's going to teach you exactly how to get to the treasure chest that we have with ACN. And it's funny because I learned the compensation plan that day. I learned how to talk to people that day. I learned that I didn't have to do this all by myself that day. And that's what training does for you. So it's so important to be able to get people to events and understand the power of events. Because can we agree that this environment is something you can't create in your basement or in your living room? Right. We can agree to that, right? I mean, look at the social proof. There's people from 18 to 75. There's people all in the room, right? So it creates social proof for you to be able to come to this environment and be able to know that obviously you have help to be able to do this. And that's exactly why Mr. Tony Kupas encouraged us to do that. See, look what he said. If you can get good at promoting events, you will be an RVP. All right, now this was said before the senior vice president position was even created. So look at this. You get to the top of the company is what he's saying, just by getting good at promoting events. Now the reason that they're saying that is because you get people to this, it does more than what you can do. So this is you getting yourself out of the way. Right. Mr. Payton said, okay, if I get, Greg to this event, that event may be able to create something and spark something in him for him to be able to get started. I didn't get started on the spot. I wanted to. I didn't have the money, so I had to, babe, what we gonna do? Went to the event and then we figured it out. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to understand, get good, guys, at promoting the events, because what it does is it creates something more in what you're able to do for your team, okay? So the events, these are some of the listing of some of the events. So jot this down, take a picture of this, because it's one thing for someone to say that ACN didn't work. That's one thing. It's another thing for someone to say ACN didn't work and they didn't plug into anything. Because in my opinion, if ACN works for one person, then it must work. Yep. It's just a matter of me figuring out what I need to do, who I need to become, what I need to remove or add to my life to make it work for me. Right. So sometimes when you take a look at these events, yes, we have them every single week. I had somebody say, man, we got to do another call. I said, yeah, I'm stressful too. I'm the one doing it. It's not for me. I'm teaching it. You know what I mean? So I'm sharing this with you guys because we, as the leaders, wouldn't do this stuff just to waste your time. We do this for you guys so that, and for me too, I need to hear it differently from different leaders as well. So I don't want to put myself above it either. But that's why we have this. And this is why you'll notice that the people that you see regularly in these events, the people that you see regularly on the calls, see, it's not about hearing it from one person, because everybody doesn't vibe with my personality type, okay? But it may be someone else that's on the call that says it differently than me or gives a different example that you can relate to for you and who you are, that sets everything, it makes everything different for you. And that's the power in what we do, all right?